Happy Sunday night, y'all. Can you believe it's almost summer? Can you believe this year just about half over? I'm kind of in shock when I sit back and think about it. It's almost as shocking as walking into the kitchen and seeing that your child has taken a milk frother and wrapped their hair around it. Yay for parenting. It is Sunday night. I'm getting ready to do my Coach MK thing in the private Facebook groups, but I wanted to take a minute to have a deep conversation, not a heavy one, just a real fast one, and say hi and ask you to think about something that you're probably already thinking about. And I wanted to do it, got the accent on, because I want you to be able to laugh through it a little bit without getting too carried away. All right. So that thing we're going to talk about is weight. Whew, oh my Lord. Now remember, the thing I like to say a lot in my coaching is I'm not going to tell you what to feel or how to deal, but I am going to give you a framework to evaluate how you got to a certain feeling to decide if what you're doing is working for you. Now, as a small business owner, this is where the marketing team like hides under the couch and hides their eyes like, what are you doing? Because I know I'm supposed to sell you what you want. I'm supposed to read the room, meet the demand, and then take that thing that you think you want, put it right in your hands with the button that's ready to click. But my whole ethos, everything I stand for, everything I do is about reminding you that what you've been brought up to believe in and think is bull. It's toxic, it's harmful, and it's not helpful at all, especially when it comes to weight. Shame is not effective when it comes to behavior change. Parents, you're learning this. I don't know how it works so well on us, but it does not work on my children. And well, if any of you have ever looked at me and thought that I was shameless, there comes a point where shame stops working. It's when you realize those people were never going to give you what you wanted anyway. So that's when there is a point when shame stops working. You've never shamed yourself into doing something that you didn't want to do, something that was harmful. If anything, that thing you really didn't want to do, that thing that made you feel bad, you just didn't do it. And maybe you didn't talk about it because that would make the shame bigger, but it's not like you did it or made big changes in your life because you felt bad about something. If anything, you hid, and you hid from the punishment. You hid from the shame. You hid from the people who were going to use that shame against you. It is a great way to control people. Let that sink in. It is a terrific way to control people. It doesn't work on me, and that's why a lot of people are scared of me most of the time. It's like, I don't know how to keep you in line. I'm like, that means you're just going to have to treat me like a person. Sorry. I know it's hard, without getting locked in power struggles. But what that has to do with everything else is that if I really wanted to make money, I would sell you a weight loss plan. As evidenced by my inbox, everybody else in the world is trying to. I would sell you a marathon training plan, even though I really don't think big marathons are going to be happening this year. And I also don't think that most of us have been doing enough base work throughout the pandemic to be in a place where marathon training right now is a good idea. Several years ago, when talking to potential customers about my programs, which were new and scary at the time, what is heart rate training? Didn't that go by the way of the dodo bird? I love what you say. I've talked to people who've trained with you and they love it and they love you, but I am scared of gaining weight. Can you tell me how I'm not going to gain weight on your plans? And I would say, well, if you're not hurting more and you're not hating what you're doing, then odds are pretty good you're going to be able to run more and do more if you're not killing yourself every time you go out there. But what about the calories? I could never get around that. We've all been conditioned to think weight management's so easy. It's calories in, calories out. And that's not true. The conversation that we're having in society right now that's bigger and broader is about how a lot of the ways that gatekeepers have shamed us were terrible, or the laws that apply to them don't apply to us. So I tell you all that to tell you this. Most of the things that you think you know about body and weight loss that should be so simple that you learned them in 6th grade health is stupid. They're incorrect. They were created by marketers to create a problem in your brain, feeding off the shame that you'd already gotten elsewhere in this world to sell you a solution that was never going to work. It was just going to make you feel a little bit better in that moment and then more shame later, which would make you buy it later. And I'm not about to do that. Maybe that makes me a crappy business person. I don't really care. Burning calories is a really bad coaching cue. It always was. Just because you're lighter doesn't mean you're going to move faster. And if you sit back and think about how would you really move faster if you didn't eat for a week, it's really bad. It is really bad. So when I tell you that, to tell you all this, rather than lead you down a path of more binging and purging from a fitness perspective, all I'm going to ask you to do is what I do with my accent when I'm around a whole bunch of people that I need to take me seriously. Just tuck it in. It takes me a minute. There's a phrase that I say over and over in my brain. I'm a Harvard-educated brain surgeon. I'm thinking of you, Sarah Blanchard. I'm a Harvard-educated brain surgeon. I'm a Harvard-educated brain surgeon. Because it's really hard to say that with a Southern accent. It's the thing that I do that helps me tuck it back in. So rather than throwing your life, turning it upside down, doing something completely unnatural, thinking that you need a really big goal or a really expensive program to get yourself back on track, when the fact of the matter is you survived a really tough period. The thing I want you to remember is that you don't need big changes. All you need to do is tuck it back in. And that's why I called the program that I'm selling for this summer, Sunburn. Rather than doing really big hard stuff, we're just going to go out there, we're going to turn it up, tuck it in, and then burn it up without burning out. And I know it sounds kind of fun because I like to think that I'm kind of fun. I can be a little silly. But what I'm not going to do is shame you in any way or make promises that I can't keep. So most of you have probably already purchased these plans that you've seen in your inbox from all kinds of companies. It seems like everyone in the world is trying to talk about the Quarantine 15. Congratulations on rhyming. I learned how to do that in kindergarten. It's cute. But just because it's cute and it scares you a little bit doesn't mean that the solution exists or that you have a problem in the first place. I understand as much as everybody else. I've gained a lot of weight. This is the heaviest I've ever been not pregnant. It's the least fit I've ever been not pregnant or recovering from surgery. But I got to tell you, it's also the most free. Right now, there's no have to when it comes to fitness. It's about want to. And if we're just tucking it in rather than turning our lives upside down, then we are much more likely to come to something that is sustainable, that doesn't kill us, that actually makes us stronger, that brings about the metabolic change that we need to get back to wherever it was we think we need to be without starving ourselves or overloading ourselves in the process. So if you want to check it out, I'll put the link below for Slow Burn. If you've already bought those plans, again, that's cool. God be with you. I'm always here to answer questions, but I hope you remember that calories in, calories out is terrible. It's a process of changing your body. And most of the things that we think that will make us lighter or make us stronger or any other superlative, any other it'll break us just as quickly as it'll build us up. So with that, get ready for short shorts and bikinis or whatever it is you want to put on your body. I know I'm never going to look as good in a bikini as Coach Nakia does, but I will rock anything that I take out this door with confidence, because rather than feeling bad about the clothes I can't squeeze myself into, I bought a couple new ones on Poshmark and eBay, nice and cheap. They look great. It's fun. I've got fun earrings. I dry my hair, and then I go find a reason to put on these new fun clothes. And that happens after a workout. So tell you all that to be like, I hope you have a wonderful summer. I hope to see you in some of my programs. And if not, I understand why. But please, if you find yourself feeling shamed, like you should have done anything differently, even if you aren't paying me, come see me. And then I'll put my voice in the back of your head saying, you're coached, you're loved, you're winning at life, and fuck anyone who says differently. Happy Sunday.